You're young. You're 18 years old. You don't have a clue what you're going to do with your money in the future. You just see your friends spending money. You don't know. All you know is that you're young. But do you realize how much time that you have on your hands? People always ask themselves, what if I was 18 years old again? If I could go back, if I only knew what I knew now, what I knew then, right? But these are the steps I would take if I was 18 years old. These are the steps that I would take for my financial future if I was 18 years old.
So let's get into it. If you want to start investing, do this. Go over to fidelity.com and open up a brokerage account. Just do that. Fidelity.com, open yourself up a brokerage account.
It's all about investing for the long term. So if I were you and you don't have much time as an 18-year-old to pay attention to the stock market, to the news, you're still young, you can care less about politics and wars and whatever happened domestically, I would invest into an ETF, because when you invest into ETFs, you really don't have to pay attention to them. You can set them and forget them. ETF, exchange traded funds. We're talking about an ETF that tracks the S&P 500. We're talking about funds that track the 500 greatest companies in America. For the most part, when you invest into these ETFs, they are set it and forget it type funds. You basically buy them each time you get some money. You put a little bit into them for like 20, 25 years, and you'll see your stock portfolio or your ETF gain tremendous amounts because you're time in the market. You're not timing the market, you're just time in the market for long term. So when you're 18 years old, those are the best stocks that I would recommend for an 18-year-old to just track the S&P 500. And when you get older and you have enough time to pay attention to the stock market and you're looking at news and you're worrying about your finances and for your family and everything, then you can start buying individual funds. But while you're 18, focus on buying ETFs such as the VOO, dividends ETFs such as SHD, or tracking the QQQ, which is technology companies, and you're tracking the NASDAQ, or other thematic ETFs where you can track and maybe plan for the future. So if you're interested in space, they have space ETFs. If you're interested in EV vehicles, they have EV ETFs. But for the most part, I would recommend invest into a broad ETF like the VOO, QQQ, or the VTI. For those who are interested in savings when you're young and you want to have a savings account, I would recommend invest into a high yield savings accounts. Instead of investing to your local credit union or some bank that your family recommended to you, the interest rates on high yield savings accounts are a lot higher. So you're looking at like 3 to 4% annually on those high interest savings accounts. And because you're young and you're tech savvy, they have a lot of tech banks that you can use on your phone. We're talking about fintechs such as Chime, SoFi, and there are multiple. I can't name them all right now, but there are fintech banks that offer high yield savings accounts, especially for those who are tech savvy like yourself. When you're 18 years old, you prefer not to walk into a bank like an old person. You want to just watch your phone, pay attention to your phone, and track your spending, your savings through your phone. I recommend those high yield savings accounts because you can get a lot more bang for your buck. And you can have access to those savings accounts when you need it and for emergency funds. I do recommend, though, that you set up a savings account at a credit union because they offer better home loans or better auto loans for their members. So for now, make sure you have high yield savings accounts for your savings, and also credit unions if you want to purchase a house or purchase a car in the future. Obviously, if I was 18 years old again, I probably would go to some type of trade school. I would develop some type of technical skill just to make myself more marketable. And I can't tell you where to go and how to pursue your endeavors or your career in life. But if you're 18 years old and you're working at a company, make sure you work your way up to management, supervisor, to a higher position so you can get promotions, so you can gain more money. You want to take those extra promotions, those extra Christmas bonuses, your tax refunds, and any extra money that you don't need immediately. Take that money and invest into the S&P 500. Just like I talked about earlier with the ETFs, take that extra money and invest in it. And if you can't invest in it and you want to just keep it on standby, make sure you put it into a high yield savings accounts. Your goal should be to get promoted as much as you can and often as you can. So if you're 20 years old, you want to make more than you're 18. When you're 25, you want to make more than 20. So make sure you get promoted. And when you get promoted, make sure you take that extra salary that you didn't use before, that you didn't have before, because you live below the means. Take that extra salary and invest into the S&P 500 or invest into a high yield savings account or buy some type of assets. That is the key. Make sure you buy assets and not things. So at 18, you have to live below your means. I know it's difficult when you see somebody driving a nice car and they got a house already, they got expensive shoes, but you do not know their circumstances. If you are a 9-to-5 worker at 18 years old, you cannot live the lifestyle of a person who is retired or who is rich. Your job is to make sure that you live and manage your paycheck so you can save for a rainy day and for the future. You should not be living 50% of your paycheck in some type of apartment. Same thing for a car. Buy a used car. You don't need a brand new car. If you're young, you don't have kids, you don't have family, you just need something to get you around, get you to work, get you to nightlife, get you to your friends, get you to have fun, but you don't need a brand new car at 18, 21, or to 25 years old. Get a used car, and that way you're living below your means, because the car is the greatest wealth buster of life. If you get a brand new car, it's going to set you up for failure for the future, and your credit is going to be through the roof. Your interest rates are going to be super high, so it does not make sense as an 18 to 25-year-old to have a brand new car. If it's just you, you can drive around in a hoopty, get it fixed up, put an oil change in it, get yourself a nice Toyota Corolla, Toyota Camry, Honda Civic, or Honda Accord, something that's reliable, that's going to get you from A to B. You do not need to buy a brand new car. So live below your means, get a nice apartment, and get a nice used car to live below your means. And when you're making those raises, put those raises in your savings account or in your investments every time you get promoted. Your biggest flex is time. Your biggest flex is your age. You're old enough to understand, to save money, but you're young enough to live life below your means and invest for the long term. You should be investing for the long term as an 18-year-old. You should not be worrying about what other people have. You should live below your means and you're going to be fine. But you got to start now. Start with little increments of $10 to $25. But think long term. Don't think short term. So keep your econ 100. Subscribe and like on the channel. You already know.